I am ready to go. I'm feeling good, feeling better.
Let's get to
regular
it.
degular, man. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on with you? Welcome to a special edition of AST. This is your very own Arden Franklin here, a.k.a. Arden Sports Talk, talking to you guys, man. Coming to you live from Fordham University. It is Tuesday, May 28, 2019, cooking up right now at 8:42 p.m. It feels good. This feels like a little throwback in time, you know, talking on the radio, talking in front of the cameras about sports. You know, I've been doing a lot with the writing in recent years, so it feels good to kind of go back in time, kind of like a retro night. You know, I'm joined by some very good people. First of all, I got the homie Reed behind the camera. Shout out to you, brother, for setting this up. Shout out to my mans for graduating, by the way, from Fordham University. Welcome to the real world, baby. Pay that loan back ASAP. And I got a couple of special people with me as well, man. Across from me, with the fresh-ass Dodgers jersey on. Got the good brother Isaiah, another recent college graduate,
Yes,
but this
sir.
is different now. This is with the Masters.
Yes,
this
sir.
is
Yes,
2
sir.
degrees.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm saying?
Yes,
Columbia's
sir.
very own, graduating, doing the Thug Dizzle. And to my right, I got the good brother, my fellow Westchester Knight, 914 Zone, 4-Side Zone. I got my good guy Jamal here with me, host of the Lunch Table Podcast, home of that big boy talk, that grown talk. Man, what's been going on with you guys, man?
Not much, really. I'm coming down from just celebrating, really.
I hear that.
My man told me before the show, he was like, yo, I tweeted out the invite if you didn't invite. You didn't DM me for the details.
Come
I'm like,
on, man.
I'm like,
Come on,
fam,
man.
you gotta, you know, sometimes
missed
you
the
gotta
boat.
follow up, though, just to see, you
Oh,
know.
come on.
You missed
I
the
know.
boat. Nobody's special.
Yeah, come on. Man. You can't put that on me, man.
Protecting the ego. Protecting the ego. Jamal, what's going on with you, man?
Cooling, man. Happy to be here. Very happy to be here.
Yes,
Looks for the invite, bro.
And we have a lot to talk about tonight, man, you know, because, you know, again, we're recording this on Tuesday, May 28th. So the NBA Finals, the 2019 edition, is beginning this Thursday in the 6th in Toronto between the Raptors and the two-time reigning champion Warriors. But before we get into that, man, I do want to talk about the playoffs as a whole, because this year's playoffs had a very unique dynamic to it. You know, for one, no LeBron James at all in this postseason, which meant that we got a new participant coming out the East. The West this year was different. You know, we saw the Warriors get challenged more than usual. We saw some new faces emerge in Denver and Portland. We got another repeat of the Oklahoma City failures in the first round.
Jesus.
3 straight years in a row. I'm already getting to it. I'm already getting to it. But Jamal, just to get to you, good brother, what have been your thoughts on the playoffs so far?
A lot of thoughts. I would say you brought up one of the biggest disappointments, and by one of, I mean the number one disappointment.
definitely.
OKC. Arden, as you know, I'm a big-time Westbrook fan.
You are.
Um,
Kate be on sometimes.
Yeah, I ride for the homie, but I will be the one to flame him.
Yes.
When he deserves it.
Have to.
And he deserves the flame this year.
Yes, King. Keep going.
No excuses for that man. I'm one of the biggest advocates for him. People love to talk about stat chasing. Whether or not you guys know, you get paid off your stats.
Right.
If everybody could stat chase successfully,
Yeah.
everybody would be doing it.
That's
They would.
So
The
you
badge
know
would be
that's
secured.
the thing right there. But Russ, I feel like his growth as a point guard, and as a point guard myself, your decision making, he makes plays that I wouldn't have made at 11 years old, and I think it's a little bit of a gift and a curse for him, his talent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you look and you say, okay, this guy cannot guard me every single time down court. I also have to keep my confidence every single time down court, so I have to go. Like, bro, no, you don't. You don't got to go this time.
That's real.
Not this time.
That's real.
And there were other issues there, but I would say the main issue with them losing is inconsistency from both their star players.
Yeah.
Paul George, after the All-Star break, was not. He went from being MVP caliber to, you know, barely an All-Star player, in my opinion. And, you know, during that time, Russ became an NBA player again. So he could able to make shots. Don't get me wrong, he had a very good season from every other standpoint. But shooting-wise, bro, I don't know what the hell was going on there.
Yeah.
So OKC, huge disappointment. Portland, very, very big surprise. Like,
Definitely.
I would say my second and third favorite player right now is Dame Lillard. So I was a little bit torn in that first series. But the way he just destroyed them, that was, like, very inspirational. Very inspirational. Even to see my guy Rush just going out like that, that was bad. But that was inspirational to see. Very happy for him. got clamped though
Yes.
in the last series, and it was the same clamping style that the Pelicans did.
Mm-hmm.
Double team that man, make somebody else beat you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very interesting to see that OKC was the only team that didn't even try that. You saw Denver clamp him 2 to 3 games in that series.
That's true.
How did they do that? Double team that man, make the other players beat you.
That's real.
OKC, maybe it was a pride thing. Maybe Russ was like, "Nah, I got him." Nah, you don't got that
don't.
man. That
And
man's
even
not
then,
guardable
he
on
didn't
one
really
player.
show the willingness all the time to guard him too.
Yeah, that too. He was
a
running
sad
away.
Part.
Yeah.
That was a sad
Yeah.
part about that.
Russ got a lot.
series,
He got a
too.
lot to make up for.
Definitely.
But
Definitely.
those are the 2 things I would say right there. If we go on just that, I'll be talking forever. So I'm out.
Isaiah, what about you, man?
I mean, I'm a big 76ers fan. So, seeing that shot,
Oh yeah, we talking six.
That was tough.
boy.
Oh, we gonna talk
But
about
hey, guess what though? I predicted the Raptors win the
Really?
East.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I
did
did.
not.
I did.
Elaborate on
I
that.
definitely
for real,
did.
for real. Elaborate on that.
So with any playoff series, it's always the best player will win, right?
Okay.
Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the East, in my opinion. In my
Rightfully
opinion,
so.
and we'll get into whether or not he's the best player
I think
of
so.
all.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later. But I mean, it sucked in the way that it happened.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like with my heart, I had my Ben Simmons jersey on. I'm watching the game. I'm cheering for them. But in terms of like professional setting, like I tweeted out Raptors,
Yeah.
Raptors in 7.
Word.
I personally just didn't think that the Sixers would be able to gel. We didn't play that many games together with Embiid always going through the injuries.
True.
But
True.
I mean, we looked good in spurts. We looked really good in spurts.
That's right.
And Kawhi Leonard happened, and I wasn't surprised when it happened because I picked them to win, but at the same time, it just sucked to see. Like, oh my God, I wasn't in tears, but I was just I was broken. I wasn't answering my phone, no text. Like I had to.
When you
Yeah,
get to that stage. Oh,
Yeah.
son.
yeah, it was bad.
Imagine
was
what my
bad.
phone was like. For Russ. It was killing me for Russ, and I was like, I dedeserve all that.
Yeah, that's real. That's
That's
real.
right. take that.
You just want to go in the dark. You
Oh,
just,
exactly.
You just want to just be left alone.
Exactly.
Bro.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about that, because that night was insane on Twitter.
Yes.
Because it was Game 7.
Yep.
Then it was Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
2 Game 7s too. 'Cause you
2
had
games.
the-
Denver, Portland.
Yep.
Before that.
That was
Yep.
a big
And
day.
Game of Thrones.
Yep.
So it was like the timeline was just at its peak.
Definitely.
And I remember I was
Definitely.
going back and forth because I had Game of Thrones on the TV and then I had Game 7 on my laptop.
Okay.
And I'm
smart.
like trying to multitask and
That's
see
smart.
both.
That's smart.
Because I'm like, damn. I'm like,
Yeah.
what happened here? I'm like, Jimmy done brought him back from like down 6 at 8.
Yeah.
And
It's crazy though, cause when Jimmy did that, my first thought was the Thunder Sixers game where Jimmy had a similar play, brought us up 1.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Except Paul George happened then
Yep.
and killed it. So that was my first thought, and I hate to admit that, but that was my first thought as soon as I saw that
It's
we had tied
natural.
the game. But
mm-hmm.
I was hurt. I was hurt. Like I.
Definitely
True
natural.
fan. You're a true fan.
And the thing was, like, I didn't do it like you. I had the game on, and I was like, "Yo, we'll get to Game of
It'll
Thrones
be
later."
there.
Yeah, it'll be there. It'll be there. You got the HBO.
That's exactly
go,
how
you
I
can
did
start
it. I had the HBO go,
exactly.
I was chilling.
Exactly. So
Man.
I was with the homies, also big Sixers fans. So we had it on the big screen. We was in the zone. But then as soon as that shot happened, we were quiet for about 10 minutes, and we're like, "All right, we got to like pump up a little bit because we got Game of Thrones now." So
Yeah, right. It's that transition before we talk about playoffs. Just as a fan, like I think for me personally, I'm not sure really in basketball. There was like always there was like that opposing player late in the game that scared me. So I'll go back to like fourth quarter, like the rare matchups. Being a longtime Cavs fan against Kobe,
Okay.
was always like
yeah,
drenched out in sweat after those finals 15 through 16 versus Golden State, just
Yeah.
being in fear of Steph
Yeah,
in the
of course.
fourth, like just thinking like, yo, every time he shoots, you go, damn, son,
It's
we
going
about to-
in.
it's going
It's
in.
going
Like,
in.
you're just looking at that.
yeah,
So I can't even imagine how you felt
Yeah.
when Kawhi turned that corner.
yeah,
He shoots the fade, and that's a shot that like 9 times out of 10.
yeah.
Usually when it gets to the second bounce, it misses.
Oh,
Yeah,
of course.
it's a terrible
It goes
angle.
boom,
Of course.
You don't,
boom,
it don't bounce in from
and
that
you
angle.
go
Exactly,
like,
it doesn't.
oh, is it gonna?
Yeah.
And it misses. So to see that drop,
Yeah.
I know for me personally, my thoughts on the playoffs have just been, I love the new aspect of it. Like I know there's a lot of
Definitely.
people
Definitely.
entering this year's playoffs. It was like, oh man, there's no LeBron,
Yeah.
and there's this and that. But
Yeah.
I personally loved it, and it's
Oh,
not because he
definitely.
left my team. It was just This is more about the fact that we really get to see new stars emerge.
Changing of the guard.
Changing of the guard. And for the NBA, newsflash, man, LeBron's entering season 17 next year.
Yeah.
You got to find a new cash cow. You got to find a new path to the bag to help generate these ratings. It's real.
No, it's real.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
real.
you don't want to find yourself in the same predicament like when Jordan left twice. To where you're like, damn, what we going to do? What we going to do? How are we going to? No, you got your options. And, you know, just like what you said, just like what you guys said as well, seeing Dame really take his game to the next level. You know, I feel like one of the many people that after that Game 5 victory not only looked at Paul George salty, but we was like, bro, when we talking hoop, and you talking from the scouting aspect, we talk about a shooter and a scorer, tied game in his building. That's a good ass shot.
Oh, of course.
That was just so.
That's his shot. That's the first shot he took to begin the series.
Yeah.
That's the same shot he took. Again, from the scouting standpoint, he was beginning the second half of games with that shot.
Yeah.
That was his warm-up shot just to get, loose.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to know that, like, bro, if anything, for me personally, I would have just said, and Portland did a good job not calling timeout, and everybody spaced out.
Definitely.
But for me, when I got in my coaching bag, I would have been like, yo, PG, you got to get up on him.
Definitely.
And we got to try to get the ball out of his hands or force him to drive.
Definitely.
Because the scouting report shows old boy shoots at least 55% from 30 plus.
Yeah.
That's his shot. He's going for the 50 ball. If he beats me with, if he gets me driving with a floater or he somehow makes the late pass, I'm gonna live with that. That was just how I felt personally.
Like, you see that though? That's like it goes back into what did you learn and what are your instincts your entire life. That's what makes the Warrior so difficult to guard because it's like,
that's
all
a
right,
good point. Very good point.
On one side, everything you learn hooping forced them to like shoot, force them to take long shots and then contest hard.
Yeah.
With these guys, it's like, yo, you really gotta force them to take a normal good shot.
Seriously.
Take a 15-footer.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Go get a layup.
Take the
Yo,
long two.
We'll give him a layup instead. Wait, what? That's the most backwards thing you ever heard in your life.
But no,
we'll give
it
him
makes
a layup
sense.
instead. But this is what it is with these guys. Like when Paul George is guarding Dame, whether we realize it or not, that man was a good 6-7 feet outside the 3-point line. Paul George, and was still a good 5 feet from Dame.
Yeah.
So in his head was, all right, I'm 28 feet out. He's not going to pull from 30 because if he pulls from 30, I'm right here. Nah. He pulled from 33.
Yeah.
So that type of stuff right there is like mentally, you see Paul George like, okay, 7 seconds, 6. He's 35 feet out. 5. He's 35 feet out. 4. Oh, he's 35 feet out. He's pulling. He's pulling.
Yeah.
And you see Paul George realize that. And what's crazy is I'm sitting there watching it with my girl. And I'm sitting there like, what's he doing? And I'm like, as soon as like Paul George and me realized at the same time, yo, he's pulling. And at that point, it was too late.
And before I get this back to Isaiah, for me, again, I just knew live time what Dame was doing.
Yeah.
Because my thought process, again, the same way you thought like PG, I thought like Dame, to me, which is, all right, this might be random, like, yo, I'm 6'3". Homie 6'9". Again, it's my building. I got the ball. What is more likely? Me driving by old boy, basically this all defensive player with less than 5 seconds, or me doing my classic sidestep, in which is going to get my shot off. Again, like, I've proven to y'all that I could take this shot. And I could make this shot.
Yeah.
What you think I'm going to do?
Yeah.
That's why when I saw the clock and I saw it pulling up, I was like, oh, this is good. I'm like, he about to shoot it from 30 plus.
Yeah.
I could just tell, like, certain moves and certain mannerism in a player, it's kind of like, when like LeBron, when he's about to drive and he pulls it back and he wipes the jersey twice. As soon as he wipes the jersey twice, he's driving.
Going hard right.
If he's on the left side of the floor, he does the swipe. He goes left and he stares at the ball for a millisecond. He's doing a step back three
every time.
Every time.
That's a good point.
And I'm just a casual viewer. It's like you just got to be able to see these things, these tendencies, to just know what's about to go down.
You watch film. You watch film.
You have
right
to watch
there.
that film.
Yeah.
You have to watch that film.
You just got to see that, like you just know. But Isaiah, minus your Sixers, because I don't hold that against your Sixers for losing in 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
And we actually want to talk about the Sixers in a little bit too, because I definitely want to talk trade.
Oh,
I want
definitely.
to talk trade.
Definitely.
Which team you believe had the most disappointing exit?
Definitely the Thunder. I
Okay.
mean, I think, like y'all both mentioned, it comes down to not reading the scouting report. There's 2 people in the NBA that's going to shoot that: Steph Curry and Dame Lillard. And you're playing one of them.
Yep.
I mean, I just don't understand how you let him get that shot off. And I think both of y'all said this: PG-13 straight salty. Just like he's unbelievably salty. That's the only logical reason I think for you to say that's a bad shot. It's a bad shot maybe for you, maybe for Russ, but for Dame Lillard and Steph Curry, it's not a bad shot. That is a great shot.
Great shot.
That is a great shot.
I would have been surprised if he'd have drove. I'd have been like, "What?"
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's definitely the Thunder. Definitely the Thunder.
Jamal, what about you?
Thunder for sure. I'm trying to think of the second disappointment. Without a doubt. I mean, you know the crazy thing about it? I'm saying Thunder, but you know who my finals was this year?
Who?
And this is before Roberson decided that. I mean, they decided he couldn't come back.
Yeah.
I thought he was a huge piece for them because what he
I
does
agree.
was
That's
I
what
agree.
he is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
He
I
doesn't-
definitely agree.
Yeah, he
Prototypical
doesn't-
dream
he,
D.
He makes it so that if you see their stats with him on the court and off the court, and I'm talking like offensively, which is crazy.
That is
Offensively, it gives Paul George and Russ like, okay, y'all don't got to go all crazy hard defensively.
Yeah.
Y'all just focus on scoring because I'm going to contain, not lock up. I'm going to contain the other team's best guy, whether he's Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Kawhi. I'm gonna play that
Donovan
guy.
Mitchell.
So Donovan Mitchell, whoever.
Yeah.
So when I knew Roberson was coming back and I saw PG decide he was gonna sign back, my first thought is, oh, they taking it.
Wow.
Or they at least
That's
going to
bold.
the chip. That's the last team the Warriors want to see, even
That's
after the
bold.
way that
That's
the
what I
Rockets
was
pushed
thinking
them.
too. That's what I was
Because
thinking.
they had the
rolling.
wing scorers.
Yeah.
You got Paul George and Russ are enough to get you over the hump offensively.
Yeah,
Those
I
two guys are enough because they can go. We've seen them go for 40 at the same time.
You're right.
So
Definitely.
on the other side of that, Paul George, arguably the best wing defender in the game.
Yeah.
Roberson, arguably the best wing defender in the game.
Yeah.
You got 2 guys, and then you got Jeremy Grant.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's 3 really.
He's
really,
underrated,
really,
too.
Very
Yeah.
underrated.
Like,
He got a
for
lot
real,
better
for
this
real.
year.
He's very
Oh,
underrated.
He got a lot better last year, and then he got a lot better this
Hell
year
yeah.
again, which
Definitely.
is very impressive because after you get paid, a lot of guys just chill. He got
Yeah.
paid and he got better.
Yeah.
So salute to him for that. I thought with those guys there, they would be able to match up well with the Warriors.
I agree.
They also be spanking the Warriors around in the regular season a lot, which
Yeah.
really means nothing, what you see.
Of course.
But it's just like, that has to sit in the back of your mind if you're the Warriors.
And
Like,
that's
okay,
been
these
going on
guys
for
know
a
how to
few
play
years
us.
too.
Yes.
Even
Yeah.
when KD
Yes.
was back there,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
always played them well in OKC.
Exactly.
I mean, in
exactly.
Golden State.
Yeah.
So that right there, but the maybe they might be a bigger disappointment to me than the Thunder, the Celtics.
Oh yeah.
I had the
Definitely.
Celtics and the Thunder in the chip. That was my
Wow.
prediction.
You had that 2K
Celt-
Finals pick.
Wow.
Bro.
That's that 2K Finals simulation.
After what I saw, what the Celtics did last year, and I understand, like, oh, they had no pressure. There were no big egos. There were no superstars to satisfy. I thought that Brad Stevens, and 2 things. I thought Brad Stevens would be the coach that would get them over that hump and get past all that. But 2, I thought that Kyrie wanted to prove so badly he
Same.
could win without LeBron.
Yeah.
And 2, he could be that facilitating point guard.
Yeah.
Which I did see a lot of growth from him this year, and I thought he had turned that corner.
Definitely.
But I think it was just too much noise with the free agency, not signing, blah blah blah. So what ended up, they just like imploded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could see Terry immediately running to first take. He was on
I hated
ESPN
that.
6 a.m. to like
That's not a
noon
guy I
that
want on my
day.
team.
Like,
It's
yo,
off that, bro. Like,
yo,
yeah.
he's also doing some marketing for himself.
But did he
course.
lie
Like,
though? Did he tell a lie?
Another
Did he
great
tell a
question.
lie?
Another great question. Artist not saying he told a lie. Artist saying,
Okay.
I don't want
Yeah.
that. I don't want that in my
Yeah.
locker room.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree
what I'm
with
saying.
that.
I just don't
I
want
agree
that.
with that
I agree with
100%.
that. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But from a fan's perspective, I get to see all that. Bring it in.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the drama. Chaos is a ladder.
I was like, man.
But it's like, those guys, like, they had every single component of what a great team needs.
Yeah.
And even if Kyrie had to go score mode, your center is basically a facilitating point guard.
Yeah,
Horford
definitely.
he's just out there to move the ball, good leadership. I don't understand how they imploded, and they always were able to lock up Giannis.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, man. It was just like everybody was just. It seemed like they were more relieved to get that over with,
Yeah.
which is weird.
They just never had that togetherness.
Never.
For real. And that's what sucks about being a team that you make it further than you were expected to go without key
Yes.
pieces.
Yes.
Because real talk, your chemistry was probably way better without these cats.
Definitely.
Just because of the ego.
Yep.
Definitely.
And because it's free. You know what I'm saying? Celtics fans was reminding us every 5 tweets, Jason Tatum's only 19 years old after every dunk and every shot.
Yeah.
You know, oh, Terry, scary Terry, you know, this and that.
They was hooping.
And
They were.
I
They
might,
really were.
I might surprise some folks with my thoughts here because it was tough when I really thought about it. But for me personally, my disappointing exit, as crazy as it sounds, was Portland.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because,
extreme.
and here's why. Not because I thought Portland was going to make the finals.
course.
My
Yeah.
pick since last finals when
Yeah.
they smacked my cast has been Golden State repeating.
Yeah.
To me, it's always been
Of course.
the only team that's going to beat them is them.
Yeah.
That's always how I felt. But the reason why I was disappointed in Portland is because it's not just that y'all got swept,
Yeah.
but damn near in every game, y'all
Yeah,
was
yeah,
up
yeah.
double
That's the
digits.
point. Yeah.
You guys was up double digits.
Point. Yeah.
Even in Golden State. Even in Golden State.
Yeah.
Be a long summer.
And the whole squad showed out.
Yeah.
Miles Leonard pulled up for game 4.
Word.
CJ McCollum showed y'all how nasty he is. He is officially a star to me.
Yeah.
Point blank period.
Yeah.
He showed y'all that.
sure.
And they got a squad that the numbers don't even do them justice in terms
Yeah.
of showing you that look.
Yeah.
Everybody here did their part.
Yeah.
And Coach Scott, and was it Scott? Coach Terry Scott or
Terry
whatever?
Scott, yeah.
He's a
Terry
heck of a
Scott.
coach. I like him. He could coach me. He could coach any team that I would be a part of.
Yeah.
But it's just like, damn, son. Like in the
Yeah.
final 3 games, y'all was really up double digits. And y'all couldn't close the deal.
Yeah.
Not like 6, 8.
Yeah.
They was up 15, 17. You look in the third quarter. God damn. Portland's up 78, 61?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. And Dame, you talk about getting clamped. Dame was clamped.
Yeah.
That whole series. F what the numbers may show if even Dame had a 30 ball.
Yeah.
He was clamped.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he did.
He was, let me check real quick. He was absolutely not that same player we saw against Oklahoma City.
But they blame it on the injury a little bit. With
Yeah,
ribs.
the rib,
Yeah.
you know, but like it was just a matter of going, all right, hold on, I got the numbers. Against Golden State, Dame Dollar averaged 22 points,
Yikes.
8 assists, 4 rebounds, but his shooting splits were 36% from the field, 37% from 3. Of course, he's a good free throw shooter.
Yeah.
Shot 90.
Yeah.
Game 4, shot 11 for 24, had 28. But in Game 3, 5 for 18. Game 2, 6 for 16. Game 1, 4 for 12.
Wow.
You know, and again, because
That one
Dame's a
cut it.
natural scorer, so he's going to get the bucket.
Yeah.
But it's just the percentages went down.
Yeah.
But besides that, if I had to go with a more traditional pick, easily Houston.
Yeah.
Houston.
Why Houston?
I would
Because
just
it should've
say,
gone to Game 7 or
At least.
got to get to Game 7, bro.
okay.
7.
When you in that predicament where, all right, again, you facing a team that you've been running it back for. Besides my Cavs, it's really been the Rockets that's had to run it back with Golden State
Yeah.
consecutive years.
Yeah.
They do have the squad to go toe to toe. But when you think about the fact that, again, you keep blowing it.
Yeah.
You blew it in games 6 and 7 last year.
Who do
Really
you blame?
7.
Who do you blame though? If
That's a good
there's
point.
one person, or you could say two. I'm very interested in who like who you put
Honestly,
this on.
I'm putting it on the whole team. I'm putting it on Coach D'Antoni.
Okay.
I think for certain, inabilities to readjust during certain parts of the game, and really just the style of play. Like I get it, you have this marvelous talent in James Harden,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I would also find a way to make sure that my Hall of Fame point guard
Yeah.
isn't reduced to being 14 and 6
That's a good.
and
point.
just give the ball up.
yeah.
Because it brought back nightmares for me of just watching Harden go 1-on-1 and really 1-on-5 and the ball stops. I'm like, yo, this is literally what happened in Cleveland with Bron. Like, I don't want to see none of this 1-on-5. I get it. He's that great. He's that transcendent to where he can still score and it's crazy. But it gets to a certain point where if you're like really honest, you're like, we're not going to go far with this.
Yeah.
Like, it's short-lived joy. And that's what I felt every time I saw Harden make the step backs and the ball's dead. I'm like, yo, if y'all move the ball,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
It
Golden State couldn't touch y'all when CP got his 18 and 9.
Yeah.
And Harden, you got your 35. And PJ got you 12. And Shump got you 10 off the bench. And Eric Gordon got you 20 plus.
Yeah.
How you minimize Eric Gordon? Like, they couldn't stop Eric Gordon if he had a nosebleed.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't stop it. And it's just, you minimize that to this 1-on-5 ball, and you couldn't take advantage of a team that didn't have KD, that had a struggling Steph. You let Mans give you 33 in the second half in your building, bro?
Yeah.
With the ugly-ass Steph song.
Yeah.
He had the Steph ones, the ugliest ones from his first MVP year.
I didn't even peep that.
Yeah,
I
didn't even peep that
He had
either.
the
That's
trash.
crazy.
I'll get it up on my phone.
That's
bro.
crazy.
He had the trash-ass goddamn Steph ones from 15
Yeah.
on, and he gave you 33?
Yeah.
You letting Alonzo McKinney give you buckets in your building? Alonzo McKinney, double wristband McKinney?
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's out of pocket.
I mean, yeah, I think you brought up some good points. You know, when James Harden sat out and you saw they emphasized the pick and roll with CP3, they looked so much better. But they would, as soon as Harden would come back in, they just went away for it. It was like it was a totally different team. It was two different teams. There was James Harden's team and there was CP3's team.
Streets was none.
The reason why I'm not that surprised that they were out in 6 is because that team is significantly worse than last year's team.
Oh, yeah.
Without Trevor Ariza. I think that's a significantly worse
Steph
team.
ones. If you know sneakers,
Wow.
is the Steph ones.
Wow.
I know sneaks. That was the Steph ones.
Yeah.
Steph had in Game
Yikes.
6.
Did not know that.
I know those. Those were ugly. The recent ones have been hot.
Yeah.
I might get the 6s because Under Armour been killing it with the low
He's
top.
on number 6?
I think he's on 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And Fordham's men's basketball team, they're endorsed by Under Armour.
Okay.
So their low kick's been wavy.
Interesting.
So it's just been like, yeah, man. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, I was just saying that. I mean, without Trevor Ariza, I think that team's not as good, like significantly not as good. I mean, of course, it opened up for Eric Gordon to ball out, but I mean, if we're talking two-way players, 3-and-D, I mean, I think I'd rather have Trevor Ariza over Eric Gordon.
Interesting.
I mean, Eric Gordon could come off the bench, still give me 25 to 30 a night, but I'd rather have Trevor Ariza in that starting lineup, containing your best player or your best wing. And so I mean, I wasn't really surprised when they got knocked out in 6. I think it was just the manner in which they got knocked out. The 33 in the second half, like that's unheard of.
You saw the signs too. Like, you can't hold Steph Curry to 0 points in a half.
Oh yeah,
and then go into the half up 2.
Yeah,
like
that
can't happen.
great.
And I understand Iggy. He got busy that game.
Yeah.
It was like Iggy and Draymond. They're amazing. They were amazing.
yeah,
Yes.
But you got to be more amazing.
Of course.
You can't let that happen, because if
Of
you go into the third quarter up 2 and Steph has 0, you're not even holding Steph to 20.
Yeah.
You're not holding him to 20.
Hell
Like,
no.
yeah, he had 33, and it's like, oh, he had 33, but it's like, at some point he was gonna erupt.
Yeah.
You knew that he was gonna erupt.
Yeah.
It wasn't like their defense was like completely unbelievably clamping him.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, he's missing shots. He's not as aggressive right now.
Yeah.
At some point, you're gonna awake the beast.
Yeah.
And I think one thing you brought up before, which is a great point, is the offensive change when you got Harden in and then you got Chris Paul in. D'Antoni's offense is Chris Paul's offense.
Yep, definitely.
D'Antoni's offense has never been one-on-one. Steve Nash never did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
And
Yeah.
when D'Antoni came to the Knicks and had Chris Duhon looking like he might have been an all-star at some point, Chris
Yep.
Duhon, I went to a game where he had 22 assists. Chris Duhon? Are you
All
kidding me?
facts.
That's the game that I knew D'Antoni was a genius at this offensive stuff. It's just like, all right, this is a joke right now.
Yeah.
You got this guy doing this? So that right there, and I also think like Chris Paul lost that explosiveness. So
easily.
Yeah.
he can't, and it's very sad to see, because I watched some clips from 2008 when he just dismantled Jason Kidd and the Mavs,
Yeah.
and it was like, yo, this guy's not fair.
Yeah.
How is he playing? Like, he's
was a
just
body
running
bag,
past him,
bro.
stop and go. He's laughing at the mid range 3-ball, stop and go, dime. Tyson Chandler alley, Peja Stojakovic corner 3, David West 15-footer. It's just like, yo, what on earth is this guy doing? This might be the best point guard I've seen in my life. Injury, knee, and then he comes back. Last year, destroyed them.
Yeah.
Got the injury. This year, you saw flashes this year, but you didn't get to see full-on CP3, like blowing by
Never.
guys, toying with him. The crossover move is not working the same, because it's like, all right, you're not going by me.
Yeah.
So that crossover is not going to work. So you see, and it's very frustrating to see Chris Paul just like that. And it's like, all right, well, Chris Paul sees that, and it's kind of like, all right, we got to let James do it, because I can't really fully do it right now.
Yeah.
So you got James, and the offense has been working all year, and then it just stops. But it didn't just stop. You saw his aggression kind of shrink. He kind of shrunk in the moment. And I've never been one of those guys to call Harden a folder besides that San Antonio game, which I
And which
still
he
think he had
did,
money
yeah.
on the game. I still think he had money on the loss there because I've never seen anything like that. In
Money
my
on the
entire life
game and
watching
money
basketball.
to go to the strip club. It was in
Both.
Houston.
Both. Somebody had to pay him off, or somebody had to have his mom hostage or something. You cannot win this game, sir, because he just did not show up. But like, he was going and he was making the right play. He was kicking it out. Guys were missing. But it's like, bro, you on the left side. You buy the guy. Lay that up. Your team needs a bucket right now. You keep kicking it. And it's the same issue I had with LeBron all those years. Yes,
He's gonna say that.
that is the right play.
Okay.
But sometimes the best guy, you gotta force it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta force it. Sometimes you get this guy wide open three. He not gonna make it. You just gonna keep throwing it out there? He's a 45% 3-point shooter. He's 0 for 7 in the last 6 minutes. You gonna keep throwing it out there? At a certain point, you just got to say, like, yo, I'm taking this game over, and if y'all lose on my back, which is why we've always had this, like, Kobe versus Bron.
That was a good. Hey, that was a good ass stretch. So,
So,
hey, that was what, about 8 years long, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
The
Like,
back and forth.
Yo, that
It
is
was
like
the
a
right play. It was
yo,
the right shot,
bro. And this was I was one of those in
Yeah.
the beginning. Like, how are you getting mad? Like, I'm thinking about the one play in particular, the hop step Danielle Marshall kick.
Yup.
How are y'all killing that man? This is a great shooter. And Danielle Marshall, it wasn't like he missed 5 before. He was making them shits.
Yeah.
That was what,
But-
07 against the Pistons?
Ah, man.
Yep,
Yeah.
07 against the Pistons,
You know
game
what I'm saying?
one.
Yeah, and it's just like,
Game
yo,
one.
that's the right pass.
Yeah.
Like, Danielle Marshall's a great shooter. Make that pass.
And
But
he
like,
had another one 10 years later.
to Chris Bosh?
No, it was the Kyle Kova when the Cavs were down against the Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
At
yeah.
home.
But
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
you know.
Same thing. It's,
thing
yo,
is-
you take the shot or
Yo.
you make the right play.
But that was even worse because people were killing him for that one. And it's just
course.
like, bro, did you see what's at the line? Okay, first of all, he's driving past KD. So I think he had KD on his right shoulder. And LeBron going left, likes to finish strong lefty. But it's like, you got Draymond there. You know
Yeah.
Draymond's going to hack you.
Yeah.
You know they're not going to call it.
Yeah.
So do I go in there and try to put up some crazy layup
Yeah.
over 6'11", quote unquote, 6'11" KD,
Yep.
and then Draymond, who's going to hack you?
Yeah.
6'7", 6'8",
Or do I
Dre.
throw it to this guy in the corner because Steph Curry got caught behind the Tristan Thompson
right.
screen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Korver knocked that down.
And that's the
Man.
play we won 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
However, this is where the Kobe versus LeBron differ.
Yeah.
Kobe not driving that thing in there because Kobe's also not kicking it out to the
course not.
arguably a top 5 3-point shooter of all time.
Yeah.
Kobe gonna shoot that mid-range pull-up right there.
Hell yeah, man.
He gonna shoot
Kobe
that mid-range
doing
pull-up.
2 dribbles to the
Yeah.
left, tween,
Raise up.
raise up.
But it's
Every
like,
time.
that type of stuff, and I saw hard and like, yo, you're kind of folding right now. And a lot of people will say, oh, he didn't do anything. Like, I think he might have went both of those fourth quarters without a basket.
Yeah, he did have that stretch.
That's unacceptable.
Or at least a long
Yeah,
period
yeah,
where it's
yeah.
like,
Like-
he's inactive.
Yeah.
you can't.
definitely.
That can't happen.
That's
Like
real.
this game.
That's your
This
best
game
player.
was on the platter. Both of those games was on the platter, and Steph Curry said, "I want it."
Again, in your building.
And your building, like you can't lose Game 5.
Yeah.
Game 6 is a little teeny bit, a little bit. No, you can't. You can't lose that, bro.
I agree. I agree.
For real. And another thing too about that was, crap. I think I had a great point in my head I wanted to express. But I just think again when it just comes to just things like that, you know, with a Houston, with a Philly. Oh, that was the point. Happy I got it back. I told you, Isaiah, about maybe talking trades because
Okay.
regardless if people really talk trades or not, let's face it, I think both organizations are in a place where it's you got to really look at things.
Yep.
Like if you look at the Rockets again, y'all have been at it for 3 years.
Yeah.
You got this team you clearly trying to overcome that you can't.
Yeah.
You stuck.
Yeah.
You got a lot of pieces that you can't necessarily move, and that if you move, it's gonna hurt you more than help you.
Definitely.
And with your Sixers, you guys have a very unique dynamic
Yeah.
because you guys are supposed to be happy. Yo, we got 2 legitimate stars. We might keep this third and Jimmy.
Yeah.
We back. The process was trusted and executed.
Definitely.
But at the same time, and I'll kick this off. When I look at your Sixers, I really believe that you guys got to split them up.
Yeah.
I don't look at Simmons and Embiid as
A tandem.
as a tandem as a workable tag team because of the fact that out of those two, it's clear as day, Embiid has the greater potential.
Yeah.
He's the heart and soul of that team.
Yeah.
And lastly, Ben really can't get to his full potential.
Yeah.
Given the fact that he's really only cooking when it's his kind of game.
Yeah.
And when he's just playing with a Jimmy and he's playing with Embiid, and heck, even when he's playing with Tobias Harris, you're ridiculed to just being a non-shooting LeBron, a non-shooting Lamar Odom. You're just there because, you're 6'10". Oh, maybe you could finish in transition. Maybe we throw you as an extra body. Like, that hurt me, Isaiah, to just see Ben Simmons get basically minimized to like, yo, bro, you're just going to be another body we're going to throw at Kawhi.
I agree.
That's literally what he became.
No, definitely. And
It hurt me.
For me, I think a lot of it has to do with aggression. You saw, I forget what game it was, but when he came out aggressive, we looked like a much better team.
The Raptors or Nets?
It was against the Raptors. The Raptors. I think it might have been game 2.
One of those games, he had a really, really good game.
He had a really good game.
He had a strong game, like 3 or 4 against Brooklyn as well.
Yeah, because he came out aggressive. And I think that's one of the biggest things that sometimes hurts him because he doesn't know when to pick and choose his spots because he came in on a team that was already sort of, built around Joel. Not built, but, this was Joel's team after that little.
He was there first.
Exactly. He was there first. He had that, like 25-game stretch. And he looked amazing. Like, I'm sitting here like, whoa, like, who is this? Like, because I'm not a fan of drafting hurt players. I've always just been like, I'd rather have someone healthy that can contribute from day one versus, a guy we got to take him through the process. But, I mean, I think if Simmons doesn't come back with a 15-foot jumper, I think that's when you start exploring trades.
Before I give this to Jamal,
interesting.
Ben Simmons against the Raptors.
Yeah, go ahead.
11 points per game.
That's awful.
4.9 assists.
That's awful.
7 rebounds.
Yeah, that's awful.
62% from the field, okay, but we also know he barely shoots the ball.
Yeah, he barely shoots the ball.
That's like blah.
Yeah.
Didn't take a 3, so we don't got to
Yeah,
talk
of course
percentages.
not. Of course not.
But it's just a matter of just, you can't give us these kind of numbers.
Yeah. I'd rather have you drive to the cup, try to finish at least 10 times a game and miss than you just not do it at all. Because then you're, like you said, you're another body being thrown at Kawhi. And Kawhi ate him up. And I think that maybe that's another way that Ben Simmons can get active is buying into, hey, I want to be first, second team all defense. Because he has all the tools, I think.
Yeah.
I think he has all the
tries.
tools. He tries.
He does try on
He
defense.
definitely tries. And I think there's another gear that if he switches like, hey, okay, maybe against, a team like the Raptors, I can't be myself offensively, but let me try to have the best game defensively. And I think that's just a switch of a mindset. And like you said, if he doesn't come back with a 15-foot jumper, I think you got to start exploring trades. But the thing with when you trade these high caliber players, you never get what you deserve.
Oh, especially in the last year.
Exactly.
That's his last year is going to be next year. So I think everything you said is just straight factual. I also think what Jared Dudley said about Ben Simmons is spot on, something I've been saying for a long time. In transition, he is an elite player.
Definitely.
Like, elite is like an understatement.
I could watch a montage of him in transition.
He's incredible.
Definitely.
Like passing, speed, strength, finishing, decision making. He's incredible on the break. When you put him in the half court game, he's barely an average player.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, a 15-footer just changes that entire thing because now you fear. Now you can't just go under that screen. Now, 15-footer, I made 2 of these. Now you coming over the screen. Now I'm posting you down like Stockton, and rather than setting that screen and roll at the top of the key or outside the 3-point line, I'm setting it at the foul line, at the elbow. So now you go under that screen, great. I'm taking 1, 2, and I'm shooting a floater over you. That's one of the things that I think they need to change up. I think Brett Brown needs to go back to the drawing board, but I also think it was because like what y'all said before about they had like 20 games together. Yeah. Like come on. I know they're in the NBA, and I know this is a great talent, but come on, man. Like, the other guys you're playing against are also great talents.
Of course.
So I think it's a couple of things. I think, one, when Ben Simmons has the ball and you can just go under the screen like that and he's just not a threat to shoot, it makes him just completely useless offensively in that system. So what you have to do is get the ball in Jimmy's hands, and Jimmy played very well playing that facilitator role. But then you got a fourth guy, a 6'10" Ben Simmons, who just has no role now. And that's where it gets difficult because do you just sit him on the block?
Yeah.
But then where do you put Embiid? That's
Exactly.
why you see Embiid at 3-point line. It's like, oh, Brett Brown's such a horrible coach. Brett Brown's not a horrible coach, man. He's not a horrible coach. He's just like
Dealing with the cards he's dealt.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's dealing with the cards he's dealt. And it's like, all right, Tobias disappeared for several games.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Disappeared,
Definitely.
you know what I'm saying? And it's not like the Raptors were just blowing them out every game.
Yeah.
Like, there were some close games in there.
Yeah.
If you get a little bit more from Tobias, you win those games. And we're not
agree.
talking about this right now.
I agree.
So that's another part of it. The other part of it is like, Embiid, I understand he was sick or injured, combination of both.
Oh, I gotta get back.
You gotta give us a little bit more than that. Like Marc Gasol can't defeat you. Marc Gasol can't have any games where he outplays you.
Yeah.
Marc Gasol can't have any games where he's kind of close to playing as good as you.
Yeah.
That has to be a one matchup. There are matchups that in the game starts. There are matchups that you're gonna win and that you're gonna lose. That matchup between Kawhi and whether you want to put Ben Simmons or Jimmy or Tobias there, you're going to lose that matchup.
Yeah,
but when you got those three players, you could win that matchup. You could lose that matchup respectably.
Yeah.
Embiid, you have to win that matchup just disrespectfully.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Definitely.
Once again, I don't know if we want to give him the pass for the injury and the upper. I had upper respiratory infection before.
Yeah.
It's vicious.
It is.
It's vicious. It's the weirdest thing to say, but it's some injuries that are like not justifiable.
Yeah, no,
which is
I
just
agree.
wrong. It's wrong for me to say that,
agree.
but like it is what it is. I think they're gonna have to get back to the drawing board and figure out how they're gonna use Ben Simmons because I don't think Ben Simmons is coming back with a 15-footer. I
Wow.
think they're gonna which is
That's
crazy to say,
yeah.
which is really crazy to say.
Yeah.
But he's not gonna come back.
Yeah.
He might have that same Rondo mentality where it's like I'm so stubborn. I'm gonna show y'all how great I can be without that. And that's just not a good
And it
mentality.
doesn't
Not in
work.
today's NBA.
I don't think so either.
Not in today's NBA.
He's also 6'10", and if you could let him play point out the post, but then again, where do you put Embiid?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He has like a Bird Brown, so he's playing with the cards he had.
Yeah.
He's been dealt, but it's just like I don't know the right way to approach it. The way I would have done it is like, all right, we got to put Jimmy on the ball.
Yeah.
He's gonna make the right decision. He can shoot up the dribble. But then it's just like, well, then you got Ben just floating around there. So it's a tough one, man.
I don't like giving Embiid a pass because I read a lot about the Sixers. So there's a couple things that I hate about Embiid. His diet apparently is terrible. I was reading one thing where before every away flight, he made Landry Shamet get him 4 milkshakes, cookies and cream milkshakes.
That's disgusting.
4 cookies and cream milkshakes.
That's a big man, but he's finishing those.
He's probably running through it. You see before the games,
If
he's
you
eating
don't get
like
a milkshake, why are cookies and cream though?
yeah, come on, bro. The cookies and cream milkshake from Chick-fil-A is amazing. I'm not even gonna get into you on that. I'm not even gonna get into you.
Is he getting it from Chick-fil-A though?
Probably.
You think he's getting it from Chick-fil-A in Philly?
I assume.
But you still can't be drinking. I mean,
Yeah,
even
you
if it's not
can't.
before a game,
Yeah.
like just randomly, like
Yeah.
after practice, like come on, bro, your body, it's your body.
And apparently he's a really picky eater. My thing, we need to get this man a nutritionist. We have to get him someone that will feed him food that he will one like and two that is healthy because you can't be drinking 4 milkshakes before every
anything
flight.
about
That
that.
is
That's
terrible.
insane.
That is terrible. I will
Crazy.
send you all the link. It is terrible. That is awful.
Milkshakes?
And so, I mean, that's why. And if you think upper respiratory infection, cold, you get that from you have a lot of mucus, and what gives you
Yeah.
mucus? Dairy.
Dairy.
That's what.
Yeah.
That's where my mind went to when I read
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
That's why I'm like, and
Because to get rid of the mucus, you need to drink better fluids,
Exactly.
waters, teas, that can actually flush it out.
Exactly.
All that dairy, all you're
Exactly.
doing is building up.
exactly.
so crazy.
And so, going back to what you mentioned about the cards that Brett Brown was dealt, you saw before Jimmy Butler came, we were not running any pick and rolls just because you can't run a pick and roll with Ben Simmons. They're going under every time. That's not good basketball. But with him, we're definitely running the pick and rolls. And I think if he gets a 15-foot jumper, and you brought up a good point, you don't think that he'll do that. I personally, for the sake of me having this man's jersey, I hope he does.
For the
I
sake
hope
of
he
me.
does. But what I loved about seeing Brett Brown's game plan evolve in the playoffs was that he definitely leaned more into running those pick and rolls with Jimmy Butler, and we looked good. We looked great at times.
Look great.
Look great at times. But you're right. Ben Simmons doesn't really have a place out on that floor. I think maybe we can explore some more stuff with him being the role man, and then you have Embiid out on the 3, and hopefully he works on that corner 3 a little bit more. But then even then, I don't want my 7-footer taking more than 2 of those a game, 2 or 3, 3 at most.
That's the tough part, right?
Yeah.
'Cause he can make those.
He can.
But it's just like, yo, this guy's a dominant force. With
Exactly.
mad moves down low. He can
Exactly.
pass. Like, why would you want to just...
Exactly.
But
exactly.
speaking of Joel's 3 attempts, Game 7 against Toronto, he took 6, made 1 out of 6.
I don't want that. No.
Game 5 against Toronto, 2 for 6.
No.
His best 3-point shooting performance was the blowout in Game 3
Yep.
when he went 3 for 4.
Yeah.
But that's a bad trend because even against Brooklyn, he took 5 threes. He
Yeah.
made 2, but again, like he shouldn't be taking 5
He
or
shouldn't.
6. And I'll also say as well, this is why I feel as if Philly just has to do the trade. Because if you're telling me that in order to get both of these players working, we have to put them in roles that's really outside of their best role, that doesn't tell me that this could be successful.
Yeah.
Because
you're
the
right.
right recipe would be, all right, Ben, you could be Ben while Joel's Joel.
Yeah.
If my best bet is suddenly, okay, Ben, you're going to be the primary screener so you can roll to the basket because you
Right.
don't got a jumper, which means, Joel, you need to spend more time outside.
Right.
It's like, oh, come on. That's why I feel as if they have to do a trade, and if they have to do a trade, I'm parting ways with Ben.
Yeah, of course.
I'm parting ways with Ben.
We're not parting ways with Joel. Joel's
know.
going to be there to stay.
Yeah.
But my question to you is who?
That's
Find me a
what-
trade partner
yeah.
that will get you somewhat equal value. Somewhat equal value.
Brad Beal, maybe.
I would love that.
Money wise, though, that don't match up.
It doesn't.
How about
Because
this?
of John Wall's
Yeah.
huge
How about
contract.
this? What about, in some way, shape, or form, Phoenix?
For
what?
I mean, Phoenix has the young pieces. I mean, you try to get the pick back, Kelly Oubre, a couple other guys. Maybe what's old boy's name from Villanova? Bridges.
Yeah, Bridges.
Try to get the pick, couple of young guys there. I mean, it ain't. I personally feel like if you could get a pick and at least 2 young guys back
Yeah.
for a still unproven star like Ben Simmons, who has his limitations that has been all over the forefront. If you could get that back, you get a high pick, you get 2 6'7", 6'8" athletic, complimentary role players with Embiid that could also fill in the void just in case Jimmy leaves or if things somehow break down with Tobias.
Yeah.
I could kind of live with that. Phoenix. I
So
could live with
Phoenix
that.
is picking what? Like
5?
No, my Cavs got 5.
Yeah, Cavs
Phoenix
got
got
5.
screwed in the lottery.
Yeah, they did.
They
They're
might
like
be at 7 or 8.
Yeah.
But at the same time, knowing this, let me double check on that. But at the same time, knowing this lottery, 5 through 10 is home to like mad athletic 3-and-D guys.
Yeah.
Okay,
DeAndre
so now
Hunter, Jared Covered,
Hunter might go top
Cam
5.
Reddish.
He's
Yeah.
special. He showed a lot in
Yeah,
that tournament.
definitely.
I can say that much.
But now you're telling me that TJ McConnell's about to be our starting point guard, and I can't have that.
now you got it. Yeah, you got
I
to
can't
trade
have
for
that.
it. Well,
I
Ben Simmons
want
is
at least a point
Forgot
guard
about
back.
that.
I want a point guard back. I need at least a point guard back because. So let's say we do the Phoenix trade. I think, of course, John Morant's going. Darius Garland's going to be going. I mean, I'm crossing my fingers that Kobe White's there because I was a big fan of Kobe White.
And Kobe's projected between 6 and 9.
Exactly.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
But I think, I'd want to make sure that there's 100% going to be a point guard there. If not, I think that's a terrible trade. I mean, Kelly Oubre's good.
Even better. Sorry. Phoenix has the 6th pick.
Okay, yeah. Then
Business is
I'd
booming.
Think about it. I think
Phoenix
about
is
it.
at the 6th
But do you
pick.
think Phoenix would do that because they may run into the same situation with Ayton?
Possibly.
Oh, yeah,
But the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
is, though, I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Aiden has the game like Embiid.
Okay,
Like, he
yeah.
doesn't got the long range shoot. And I think Phoenix may want to pull it off just for the sake of we got to turn things around.
They do. Yeah, they do.
We gotta turn things
They do.
around.
Yeah.
We don't want to waste Booker.
Yeah.
We don't want to waste
he signed in. He's good.
Yeah,
he's
we don't
fine.
want to waste
Yeah.
Booker.
Yeah.
We don't want to waste DeAndre Ayton. And I also think it just also gets to a point, too, where it's like, hey, you got to start making moves.
Yeah.
You got to give it a try.
Yeah.
And I think for Ben, it will be great because, trading for Ben, it would be great because it's like, Ben maybe got, another 2 or 3 years left on a rookie contract? Yeah. And
Wait,
maybe
I
you
think,
go.
I think Ben. They've been saying Ben is gonna sign the 1 year, and then just like dip off to LA somewhere to
That
be
would be
with
awful.
Kendall Jenner.
That would
I might
be
not get
awful.
into that.
Yeah,
keeps
I
on
don't.
curving.
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't
want to
know
get into
why.
that one either.
I ain't gonna hold you. But for Houston, before we move on, quick yes or no: should Houston look to explore a trade, or do you run it back? Yes or no?
I think you run it back.
I think you're running back
I
because there's
think
no
you're running
KD.
Yeah.
KD's gone.
Yeah, KD's going.
Like-
You run it back, and you try to get some 3-and-D guys.
Yeah,
in
that's the
free
key.
agency.
That's the key.
You need somebody to replace Ariza.
Trevor Ariza might end up coming back there.
Yeah. That may be the move.
he's-
It's just all about the money because I'm looking at their cap.
Yeah.
You got CP and Harden next year, both making over $38 million.
It's
Good
ugly.
Lord.
Clint Capella is on board for 2 more seasons where he's making between 16 and 20 M's. Eric Gordon's in his he's in his last year of the deal next year.
Okay.
$14 million. PJ Tucker's on board for another 15 over the next 2 years.
Okay.
Nene's randomly on board next year for 3.8. Somebody's stealing money. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys at this point. Ever, you just got running back.
Yeah.
Hope for the best.
Yeah.
And I'm
Chris Paul and Harden together at 80 M's. The cap is what, 109?
pretty much, pretty much. And what is it? And both of their salaries keep on only increasing. What's funny is Harden's contract expires a year before Chris Paul's. Since Chris Paul's has an option for 2022.
As if he's not taking that.
Yeah, he's definitely
was
taking
it
that.
46 M, something like that?
Yeah, 44.
Wow.
And then Harden, talk about the Supermax when we was outside. Harden definitely got to get the re-up for the Supermax.
Yeah, definitely.
He getting 50
But
M's.
didn't he just sign like last summer?
Yeah, it was like a
Something
summer or
that? For
two
the
ago.
extension.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
extension kicks in this year, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah.
he starts getting that big jump this year.
Oh, perfect.
So I think he's signed in. Just that Chris Paul, there's none.
Yeah,
there's
they just
no
got to
way
run
around
it
that.
back. But for the part of the show I'm very hyped to talk about, everybody always want to talk about who's the GOAT or who is the BOAT best of all time or best today. I don't know. I just made that up on the fly. But best player right now, again, at this point, we can either answer this question thinking of right now or projecting. I'm going to do a mix of both.
Okay.
So I'm going to say, after much consideration, I'm rolling with the claw.
That's
I'm rolling with the claw.
great. That's great.
To me, that man is the only man amongst the stars, between star, all-star, and superstar, that is truly a two-way player.
Yeah.
I really believe that. And let me even break it down too defensively.
Yeah.
What makes Kawhi so ill on defense is, yes, we see all of the perimeter play. He could switch on everybody. He could guard at least 3 positions. He could, steal, block shots, contest, whatever. But an underrated aspect to playing basketball, especially on defense, is really how nice are you as a team defender? Because that's what really is like the bread and butter. Like, even if all of us was in the room was to run 2-on-2, or if we was to join 5-on-5,
Yeah.
if you could stop your man, that's cool.
Yeah.
But can you tell me to switch right or switch left?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you tell me if the screen is coming? Do you play with enough depth between your man and the paint to help out?
Yeah.
Like, these are very critical aspects to being a great defender in the league. And Kawhi does all of that along with stopping the star player if it has to come to it. And and I know, Jamal, you have to be loving Kawhi because Kawhi got a lot of Kobe in him.
Yeah.
You know that willingness to shoot the mid-range.
It's beautiful.
You know that willingness
watch.
to
It's
just
beautiful to
go
watch.
for it. And I also think, too, and I remember we talked about this in the lobby as well, it's dope to me because his situation reminds me of what the NBA was 10 years ago, where it was like, yo, I got my squad.
Yeah, one guy.
Yeah.
It's just me.
Yeah.
It's my boys,
Yeah.
and it comes down to me. And again, I feel like right now, and I'll project it regardless if the Raptors win or lose the series. To me, I'm rolling next year with Kawhi, and my top 3 next year entering the season is going to be in this order: Kawhi, KD, and Bron. Jamal.
Damn, I wanted to let Isaiah go first because my answer was the same.
I can go. I can go.
Yeah,
I can
you
go.
go.
I can play devil's advocate.
Lead up.
I think KD is
Mm-hmm.
because KD is arguably one of the greatest scorers this league has ever seen.
Ain't no arguably.
Yeah.
I'm still arguably in there just for the people, just for the people.
Be safe.
But I mean, we have a guy that's 7 foot, can handle the rock, can shoot the 3, can pull up for the mid range. You talk about the mid range. You like the mid range. He can do that. He can get
Post
to
up.
the cup, post up. He can do it all.
Everything.
And I think, and also the one area that Kawhi lacks in is passing. I think KD's definitely a better passer.
You got him there.
And so
That's fair.
But both sides, and I think KD's improving as a defender. He seems more locked in than he ever has. Just from being in Golden State, I think the jump from year 1 in Golden State to year 2 was tremendous. I think that was the one thing Steve Kerr told him, "Hey, that's what you need to do." And I mean, year 3, it's about
Yeah.
the
Working
same.
through the motions.
Yeah,
You got a
it's about the
championship
same.
to get.
Yeah, he has another championship to get. And I think that offensively, he is better than Kawhi, marginally than. I mean, this is the defense though. It's what kills me is the defense. Kawhi is a much better defender than.
I guess
than
it's
KD.
really just going to be about what do you, I guess, really value.
Yes,
what really
that's true.
stands out to
That's
you.
true.
I think
true.
that's what it really comes
It
down
is.
to. It's like what
It is.
really stands out to you. What values.
They're both
Yeah.
right there.
They really
Whatever
are.
you choose,
They
is what
really
you
are.
choose. You ain't wrong.
And that's why to me, I've always been an offensive guy.
Word.
So my high school basketball team, I came in just to shoot threes. That's the only reason why I'm gonna say KD. I think he's a better scorer. Now defensively, don't get me wrong, Kawhi, but I'm an offensive guy myself.
I respect that. I mean, to be honest with you, it's between those two. I had Giannis in there as well during the season, and don't get me wrong, Giannis had a great playoffs too. People try to act like Giannis didn't. He
Nothing
was
to
amazing
be
this playoffs.
ashamed
That's what I'm
of.
saying. Yeah, he's 24, maybe 25. I don't know.
Yeah, 24,
Look,
yeah.
he was amazing this playoffs.
Definitely.
Amazing. I think Giannis has an offensive weakness, and I don't think the other two do. And I
Yes.
think that's the slight, like he's just a smidge off. He's gonna get that. We just talking about Ben Simmons coming
Yeah.
back with a 15-footer.
Yeah.
Giannis is jump from his last year,
Yeah.
jump shooting wise. He's shooting that thing and it's going in a lot more.
Yeah, it is.
He's gonna be
He's
in the
showing a
gym.
willingness to
Yes,
shoot.
exactly.
Yeah.
With
You know
confidence.
he's capable of actually shooting it
Word.
now. Like, it's still not at a really high clip
Yeah.
before it passes back to you.
Word.
But he's willing to pull it.
And it's scary because if he's
It
willing
is.
to pull it and he's not really thinking about it, even if he goes 0 for 4 and it's like, all right, if he makes one, now it's just like, all right, he might make the second one. He'll hit a 3,
Mm-hmm.
he don't make it mid-range. Now it's like, okay, I got to respect it a little bit. And that little slight thought,
That's all he needs.
now you're in the rim.
yeah,
game.
yeah, that's all he
So,
needs.
Or urine your ass from the free throw. line.
exactly. So the reason I choose Kawhi though is because, like, for me, it's always been like, KD, you're the best. You're the best guy, KD. However, I can never put KD over LeBron. I've seen LeBron carry teams that had no business being anywhere near there. I watched LeBron do it where it's just like, yo, bro, you didn't have to do this. You didn't have to get there, and nobody would have been mad at you, but you got there. And that's why I couldn't put KD over LeBron.
That's true.
Now with LeBron out, my first thought was, okay, in my head, I saw LeBron give them 50 game 1 of the finals. That was like 300 days ago.
Yeah.
Ain't
Still
nobody
heard
past
about that.
that man in my head.
Yeah.
I'm not, you can ask him, I'm not even like the big LeBron fan.
He
I
is
love
not.
greatness,
Yeah.
which is why I love LeBron, but
Yeah.
like, what he showed me last year. Last year, LeBron in the playoffs, and I know we talking Kawhi here, my fault Kawhi, but like last year, LeBron in the playoffs, that is the best basketball player I've ever seen. Like that run right there,
Yes.
that was the best run that it was just like, yo, he
Yeah.
did everything he needed to do. Even the games where I criticized him, he still ended up with 34, 11, and 11. A little bit not as aggressive as he should have been.
Yeah.
All right, we lost that game. Come back next game, I'm getting 43.
Yeah.
And I'm making every big play. The thing about what Kawhi showed me in this last series, because you can go back to my tweets from like 2016, the year that KD went to the Warriors, I think it was 2016 summer. That first game back, they played the Spurs. Kawhi spanked them. It was Kawhi and Jonathan Simmons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, you remember when Jonathan Simmons had that year?
Yo, he was a
Yeah.
dog
Yo,
and he got paid. I'm
He
happy for
sure
that
got a
man.
bag, too,
Happy,
boy.
happy for that man.
Now
And
he's
heard
right
from
on the bench
since.
for my
Hey,
Sixers.
the Sixers riding the bench. Happy for that man. But like, I saw Kawhi this year, and especially in the Philly series,
Yeah.
because in my head I'm like, when Toronto got to the Philly, I was like, all right, I got Philly in 6 max, and that was just me being respectful to Kawhi. Like
Yeah.
he gonna get them 2 games.
Yeah.
He willed them to victory 4 games.
Yeah.
He had help maybe 1 or 2 of those games.
Yeah.
And it was just like, yo, y'all are playing against one man.
Yeah.
Stop him.
Yeah.
Stop him. It's one guy. But it wasn't
Couldn't
nothing
do
they
it.
can do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Couldn't
do it.
So I was like, okay, like my 2017 tweets was just like, yo, Kawhi's number 1 in the game right now.
Yeah.
LeBron don't count. We're
Yeah.
not counting him.
Yeah.
You got to put the other. It's a whole different
Yeah, of
category.
course.
You know what I'm
Move
saying?
LeBron to like the legend stage.
Exactly.
It was like
He's
what
in
we
the legend
talked
table.
about.
Yeah,
Like,
he-
you move
he chasing
him.
ghosts now. LeBron
Yeah, like he's
chasing
chasing ghosts. Like,
So
That's a good point.
for me, it was Kawhi and KD that toss up there, and then when KD made that move, and I was like, I can't even put you up there.
Yeah, that's
Stephen
the
A. overreacted. I don't think Kevin Durant's a top 5 player in the league. All right,
Relax.
Sit down.
Sit down, please. But like Kawhi, what I always value in a player is, what do you do when the game is in the balance?
Yep.
Every top player is gonna get their 30. Okay, you're gonna get 30 because you're the best guy.
Yeah.
What do you do when it's a 6-point lead in the third with 8 minutes left? The other team goes on a 7-0 run, so now it's a 13-point lead. You can either allow them to keep scoring, or you could cut it down.
That's right.
KD showed me that one time, and that was in Game 3 of the NBA Finals last year.
Yeah.
Every single time the Cavs, okay, we put it up to 8-10. KD scores 2 in a row. Yeah. All right, put it back up to 10. KD scores 2 in a row.
Those joints hurt.
Up 12-14. Oh, the Cavs got this one. Steph got 4 through 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Clay got 7 through 38 minutes.
Trey
Cavs
got 6,
this.
8, and 5.
You know what I'm saying? Some ugly stats
Yeah.
like that. But KD kept making the shot when it was like, yo, Cavs pulling away.
Yeah.
Kawhi, I watched him do that like 6 games this playoffs.
Seriously.
Like, yo, the game is
Definitely.
over. Let's bring it back. You know, we'll get him next game.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Nah.
I'm going to get the rebound.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the offensive rebound, get fouled, hit 2 free throws. So instead of it going to 10, now it's going down to 6.
For example, Game 6, Milwaukee's up 15.
Yeah.
Yo,
Final couple
yeah.
minutes.
Yo.
Homie rips off, 9 straight?
Yeah.
Big freaking deal. Mr. Free throw, get the rebound
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's moments like that
Moments
that show
like
you.
that.
That
That's just
show
like,
you.
yo,
Definitely.
I'm
Definitely.
going to get this win.
Yeah.
Well, no matter how I got to do it, I'm going to go get this win. And he's hitting the shots when they're starting to pull away, and it's like, all right, you see anybody that you've hooped before, like you see your teammates starting to give up. No.
Yeah.
Get on my back.
Yeah.
Get on my back right now. We gonna go. Kevin Durant, you got Russell Westbrook with you. That 2016 against the Warriors.
Yeah.
And I'm the one saying, yo, okay, as a Russ fan, this is Russ team, but the best player is clearly Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Same thing right now. That's Steph's team.
Yeah.
The best player is clearly Kevin Durant.
Yes.
So when I see Russ, who, like I told you before, makes decisions that I wouldn't have made as an 11-year-old point guard,
Yeah.
I watched Russ in game. They're up 3-1 in Golden State. They go, and it's a tie game, 2-point game or whatever. They go to KD, 7 plays in a row on the elbow. He missed 6, 7 straight shots.
And
Got
that used to
stripped
be
for
his
one of
spot
them.
in OKC.
Yeah.
That
That's his
elbow.
spot.
Yeah.
Get little forearm ball
Yeah.
to the guy's chest, throw it to my left hand,
Left
catch
hand.
it, turn face,
Pivot.
mid range,
Yeah.
cash every
Yeah.
time. He missed every one, and this is when I was like, okay, wait, maybe Russ has figured it out. He just kept throwing it back to him, and it was just like, yes, Russ, he missed 5 in a row. Okay, he's not gonna miss the 6.
But you know who he is.
Yeah,
You got to give him
we
that.
know you gotta give him that. He missed the 6. Go back one more time. He missed the 7th. Okay, we lost this one. We going back to OKC up 3-2.
Yeah.
Clay lost his mind.
Of course.
You can't like, I don't know what the hell that was. That was insane.
Yeah.
But even in that game, you see KD folding.
Yeah.
We up 10. Yeah, this guy's losing his mind. But nobody else on their team is doing anything.
Yeah.
And we're at home.
And we're at home.
Dog.
Yeah.
And we're winning.
Chill out,
Yeah.
fam.
You didn't do anything. And like I said before, y'all know I'll flame Russ. I watched Russ give him the ball. And I saw Russ see KD folding. And he lost it. Like, okay, he's gonna fold right now. I see him folding. I gotta go. And when Russ gets into that mentality,
Yeah.
then
Terrible
it's
for the
like,
team.
it's Daffy Duck, Tasmanian Devil
Yeah.
banging off the side. You know, he's losing it now.
Yeah.
So when I saw that happen, I was like, okay, KD, I can't. You had it. It was the
Yeah.
game was on a golden platter for
Yeah.
you to take, and you didn't take it.
Yeah.
In fact, you shied away from it. So
You did.
when I see you go game 3 of the first finals when they beat him, when they had Kyrie,
Yeah.
KD goes through 3 quarters. LeBron got like 35. Kyrie got like 32. KD has 13. And the Warriors are up too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, what?
Nah.
He ended up with 12, 13 in that quarter, and then the game winning 3 in LeBron's thing. Everybody's like, yo, he outplayed LeBron. He did not.
That was
he
that's
did
still
not.
disheartening to
He
this
did-
day.
He
bruh.
did not. Yeah,
Yeah.
the stats. If you look at the stats,
Yeah.
which is what people will look at, it's
Yeah.
just all that matters is the stats. Nobody's looking at the tape. When you look at the stats, KD outplayed LeBron in that series. If you look at what was really happening, there were stints where if LeBron goes 2 minutes on the bench, the lead goes from 7 to 17. KD goes 2 minutes on the bench. Excuse me. KD goes 10 minutes on the bench. If the lead was 10 before, it's now coming back in. It's 16 now. Where's your pressure? I gotta see KD come to New York and do it with pressure on him.
But you know why? And that's why I said, before I give this back to Isaiah, before we move on to the next topic, why for me that aspect is why I'm rolling with Kawhi.
Yeah.
Because that ability to lead and be the guy is key. When you're the influencer, when you're the initiator, when you're the tone setter, that's big. Like that third quarter analogy was beautiful, bro, because that's real talk. Like just to even have the guts to somehow be like, yo, we may be down 15, but I'm gonna get us down to 8.
Word.
And you know there is a thing in Kawhi in which he's willing to take those shots.
Facts.
He's willing to get to his spot, and he's willing to just go.
He's willing to miss those shots.
He's willing
to miss those shots.
Exactly.
That's huge.
And that's huge. And that's why for me, I have to roll with Kawhi for that reason alone, because you've seen it over and over again. KD's clutch.
He is.
But his clutch is different in Golden State. It's like bringing in the sniper, the handyman, just to come in to finish the job. It's like, let me guess. It's like in the movies, you see, if I use the finals against the Cavs, Steph, Dre, Clay, they're the bad guys. They're trying to beat up on Bron. Bron whips their ass. KD, the dude that comes in, hits Bron back of the head. Done. That was KD. It was like Bron just literally fought through all of these cats, and you thought at the end, Bron's about to win. Snuff. Out of here. He's asleep. It's different when we going to see KD again be in that position where it's like, all right, now you going against the 3 or 4 guys trying to knock your head off. Can you hold off that 5th guy trying to save you?
Yeah. And I can't wait to see that. Like you said, hopefully he's going to be, in the blue and orange. Let's hope so. Hope so. But I think we saw, before obviously the injury, we saw a different KD this postseason. Yeah. He was like, hey, I don't care what the team's doing. Like, this is, and even the reporters, he got on them the other day when he said,
y'all.
Yeah, y'all.
Oh,
they. Something like that. Yeah, he's like, nah, this is like, we're all one team. But but it's obvious when you're looking at the Warriors play, they're definitely 2 different teams. There's a lot more ISO ball.
For sure.
A lot more ISO ball when KD's on the floor. But I think he was using it to his advantage. I mean, it's funny to think about now that the Clippers gave them the best run out of anybody in the Western Conference. But I mean,
shout out to Pat Bev,
who didn't make first team all defense, which is a whole other story. But I mean, I think we saw a different KD this year, and hopefully this is a setup to, hey, I'm about to 3rd championship, 3rd Finals MVP. I'm coming to New York, and I'm about to show you that I can do it. That's my argument.
You know what I'm also say? I'm being selfish saying come to New York.
Yeah.
Go to the Clippers. Go to the Nets.
Yeah.
Go to a team where you got to be the guy. And
Yeah.
even if it's him and Kyrie
Yeah.
that come to New York,
Yeah.
it's still on you,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
on like Kyrie. Nobody gonna say, yo, Kyrie, you gotta make the shot. Oh, you missed it. Yo, you failed. You folded.
Yeah.
Like on the Warriors, it's like, you got another guy who got back-to-back MVPs.
Yeah.
Like, he's still in his prime. Like,
Yeah.
the pressure's not really on you. The pressure's gonna be on you when you go to that team and it's just like, yo, we looking at you, bro.
Yeah.
What you gonna do when the game is in the balance? What you gonna do when the game is on the line? What you gonna do when we're losing and we need you to carry us?
And there's no bailout.
Waiting. There's no bailout.
There's no bailout.
So,
And
see.
I also wanted to have just a little conversation on the GOAT title, because I've had a take that I've been sitting on. I expressed it a couple times on Twitter, but I've really been sitting on it because I've sat in a lab and really thought about it. And everybody has their choices of GOATs, right? You got some folks go, oh, it's MJ, it's Jordan. It's MJ, it's Kobe, it's Bron, it's Kareem, it's whoever. And I know for me, my personal GOAT is Jordan. I've always said for a long time, I think Jordan's the greatest, but I think LeBron is the most valuable of all time. That's always been my thing.
Yeah.
But my take recently, and I seen one that's been bubbling because Iguodala said it, so I said, okay, way to bite on my wave.
Yeah, he definitely said that for him. I seen it. I got the proof.
Thank you. And I personally feel like if Steph continues this run he's on, he gets the final MVP. I actually told this take to Reed when Reed interviewed me for Fordham. I personally feel as if, straight up, and it can't be denied, that Steph Curry will enter the GOAT conversation.
Wow.
Based on winning his 4th ring and getting the finals MVP.
I just want to say to the people out there, I 1,000% disagree with you.
Oh, no, definitely. I definitely disagree, too.
Hey, y'all can disagree.
That's a hot take.
Y'all can disagree.
Hot take.
But the Mans is going to have a great argument. Just with context or not, you look at the 4 rings, you see, all right, 4-1. Regardless of how you feel, I played a huge part in taking out Bron 3 times, and I took out Kawhi.
Indeed.
You know, regardless of who was on my team, I proved more times than not really that I was either the best or the most valuable player on my own team. I've revolutionized basketball. I'm practically the greatest shooter in the league, in league history.
Yeah.
People already got me.
No, practically.
Yeah, people already got me. I'm saying people already got me, what, top 3, top 5 greatest PGs ever?
Yeah.
And when you look at my career, but really just the run I'm on, it's not like I'm just on a 2 to 3 year run. Like, I've really been doing this now for about 6 to 7 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Of high quality basketball.
Yeah.
You know? So when I think about a lot of these things for him, and oh, by the way, since this is one of everybody's favorite topics, I've been doing it in the West.
In the West.
I've been doing it in the West
That means a
for
lot.
7 years.
Means a
Doing
lot.
this at 6'3", a wet 190, fresh from Davison.
Yeah.
Dell's son.
Yeah.
All facts.
I'm in the GOAT conversation.
I hear you.
That's me, baby.
Yeah.
That's how I've been feeling. So that's how I feel if they get the 4th ring. That's just me.
But I think the biggest argument, to that is, I mean, you said that he's been the most valuable player on his team, even in the KD years.
Yeah,
he never was the
best or most valuable at times.
Yes, he never was the best. And I think that that's the biggest, knock that you will have on Steph.
Yeah.
Even without the finals MVP.
Yeah.
Like, he's still never, for the past 3 years in the 3P, never was the best. I mean, if you look at, Shaq and Kobe, the first 3P. I mean, it's Shaq. I think is the best player. Look at Michael. Michael, obviously, for each 3P. And you really don't have, even for the back-to-back with LeBron and the Heat, it's obviously LeBron. And I think that that's the biggest, hurdle that's limiting Steph from being, the greatest player of all time. I think maybe after he wins this ring, he may be the best point guard. And I hate to say that over Magic, but I mean, I think he revolutionized a game that, no one has ever seen before with that jumper. And I think, I'm just still kind of speechless though. Like that's like
You didn't see that coming
I
at all.
did not see that coming at all, man.
I
Like,
tweeted a couple weeks ago, so I knew it was coming. But
I'm like,
I
But
read
at
that.
the
And I was
same,
like,
but at the same time,
Whoa.
I would just say, like, even if you disagree, well, you do disagree, but I'm just talking to the general listener. Even if you disagree, I would just say you can't deny the argument.
no,
Because that's
what you're saying.
a resume, and I would
Yeah.
even say to whether it's before passes Jamal, like a best player thing. I always said what I felt has been most impressive about Steph, despite playing with KD, is he's still been Steph.
yeah,
And at times he's elevated his game, and it's happened because it's more so his evolution.
yeah,
He was always going to be that guy,
Yeah.
even if 35 didn't come to Golden State.
yeah,
So that's what's ill to me, because it's similar to, like, I would compare this to if D Wade would have been able to maintain his pre-LeBron form when LeBron came.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that. Like, all right, yeah, Wade, you won 2 more chips, salute. But imagine if not only you had won those 2 chips, but you kept being the same D Wade before LeBron.
Yeah.
That would have amplified his legacy more, because it's like, yo, fam, hold on.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
you let people come into your home,
yeah,
kick their feet up, take over your team, and you still eating, you still the same. And this is not to slander D Wade, by the way.
yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
that shows like, yo, you still the same Wade I got that gave us 27, 5, and 5, instead of the way that we saw it deteriorate over the years.
Yeah.
Like, that's what makes Steph to me so ill, because it's like, yo,
point.
bro, like, you really welcome this man. You already got Clay that you got to split touches with. You already got Dre that you got to split touches with. You guys end up getting Boogie. And yet here you are, still a guy that, if all objectivity put into the conversation, he's also at his best an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
Based off what he does.
Yeah.
That's why for me, I just felt like, as I give this to Jamal, why, like I said, when they get this 4th ring, to me, I think he just has to be in the conversation. You don't got to make him the GOAT. I'm not, but to me personally, he's going to be in my conversation of those 5 to 8 guys for GOAT.
Even without the Finals MVP.
I feel like he needs it.
Yeah, I think he needs it too.
I feel like he
definitely
needs it
Yeah.
because he's already been robbed of at least one.
Yeah.
They gave it to Iggy because congrats Iggy,
Yeah.
you made LeBron shoot
Yeah,
30-something
I think
percent.
Steph should have got that
Yeah,
one.
I
always
agree.
said that.
Yeah.
I've always
I agree
said
with that.
And the finals narrative is super unfair against him.
Yeah,
The boy really struggled for maybe a total of 4 games in the finals.
yeah,
and 2.5 of them was against the god Matthew Dellavedova. It happens.
Word.
Delly was different. That
He's on that coffee. He's on that caffeine.
yeah,
guy.
bro. Like you gonna struggle. You know what I mean? Like against the god. Like it's all right.
You made all good points though. I will say that
Against the A god.
My main point against Steph, like being in the GOAT conversation, is two things. One, you gotta get into the best PG conversation, and he's far. Even with his amazing accolades, he's pretty far off from Magic, like accolades individually wise.
Oh, I'm still not comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Against Magic. Yeah.
Second thing is, despite all his amazing success in the NBA, there's never a time where you literally said Steph Curry is the best player in the NBA.
Yeah, that's very true.
You've never said
Is that fair though? Because Bron.
But I mean, like, that's still a person.
It's somebody that was in the league.
Yeah.
I know, but still though, like
I mean,
certain
even
guys.
even when Steph was just going absolute that year when he hit the shot against OKC, which I'll tell you,
that was his
I
best
shed
year
a
to being
tear
best player in the
that.
league too. By
Shed
the
a
way.
tear. That was his best chance of being the best player in the league.
And then it did be a 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and he even then, even with all those shots he was making, it's still like, you know, he's not better than LeBron.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Is he facing the same thing that KD might be facing? Why you
no.
can't?
I think
put-
even
why you
even,
can't put
even
KD
during that
above?
time though, I wouldn't have put him over KD. Like, amazing scorer, like
That's real.
just like, wow, this guy is great. But like, if you putting him in a vacuum, like, okay, yeah, he's more valuable to the team. Even right now, he's more valuable to the team.
Yeah.
Because that team goes where Steph goes. That
Yeah.
offense is just situated around Steph
Yeah.
because he moves so well without the ball.
Yeah.
So everybody eats when the shit is around Steph.
Yeah.
When it's around KD, it's like, wow, look at this majestic unicorn.
Yeah,
Able
yeah.
to do everything on the basketball court.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna watch him.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot him on the court.
Yeah.
That's like you see Draymond is not Draymond when KD's playing because he's just like, yo, what the hell do I got to do? He's gonna get 35. He's gonna go ISO 25 times and score 13.
Yeah.
What's my role out here? Draymond, when it's just him, Steph, and Clay, he is arguably, I'm not gonna say that,
What?
definitely the second most valuable player in that
Yeah.
system because it lets Steph go play. I'm not a point guard.
Yeah.
Draymond is our point guard.
Yeah,
And if Draymond comes
that's a
up,
good
then
point.
Iggy, you play point.
That's a good point.
That's the beauty of Steph Curry. Go run around. You see that the white dude that does those skits.
Yeah.
It's like Steph Curry be like running
Yeah,
outside.
yeah,
It's like, yo,
nice. Shout out to
if
that
you
Max,
ever like
yeah.
watched a 24-second possession, it's just like, how am I gonna run around with this
Yeah,
guy? Then
yeah.
I decide I actually stay with him the whole play.
Yeah.
He throws up some nonsense and it goes in from 35 feet.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yo, this is he's so valuable to that system. And if you listen to Pat Beverly on the Knuckleheads podcast,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I watched that.
Yeah.
Incredible. Pat Beverly says, man, look, he said, who's the hardest guys you had to guard? Surprisingly, he didn't say Kyrie. He didn't say James Harden. He said the first one he said was Dame. And then he said Lou Will, which I
Yep.
think it might have been like a, shout out to
teammate
my
thing.
guy on my team.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Lou Will's very difficult to guard.
Yeah,
Don't get me
definitely,
wrong. But
definitely.
he's just like, yo, the unorthodox shots, you don't know when he's shooting. But he said Dame Lillard, like, he's not only a dog, he can shoot from anywhere in the court, but like, he's in a system where everybody knows we all keyed in on him.
Yeah.
If you put him in that Steph system, in that Kerr system, he's
Yeah.
just like, man, sky's the limit. And he said the thing about Dame is like, Dame don't be out there trying to shoot that much. Dame be trying to pass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
true.
wait a minute. Holy smoke.
That
I
is
didn't
true, though.
really realize
Wow.
that. You know what
Nah,
I'm
that
saying?
is true.
Yeah.
Because his assists are not high because
Exactly.
he's not playing with guys that's really knocking shots down like
Yeah.
that. But if you watching the game, it's like, all right, Dame will go 5 to 6 plays without really just going and just trying to get a bucket.
Yeah.
So that's an amazing thing to look at. But when you look at Steph as like the GOAT, you got to look at the fact that there's been series and over. And it's kind of unfair, but it's like over and over, like, we are forcing the switch to get you on. Not even just the best guy.
Yeah.
One of the 3 best guys. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're going to go at you the entire series.
Yeah.
On one side, it's like, well, the other 4 guys he's playing with are like amazing defenders.
Yeah.
And then the other side is also like, well, we want to tire him out because he's so good offensively.
Yeah.
But it's just like, people are still succeeding at a high clip
Yeah.
with them going ISO on you.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I can't put you in the GOAT conversation.
That's a
Another
good
thing
point.
is like, this the finals MVP argument is kind of unfair,
Yeah.
but it's also kind of real.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's fair. I think
know
it's
what I'm
fair.
saying? Yeah.
You know, it's a nice little antidote.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's just a little. That's why I try to leave it towards the end because
Yeah.
it's kind of like you average 28 points per game for your career
Yeah.
in the finals, and people saying you didn't show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the series when the KD won it,
Yeah.
Steph averaged 29, 8 and 8.
Yeah.
Well, KD averaged 34, 10 and 7.
And they mention like one bad game.
You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
oh,
And
yeah.
I don't even know if he had a bad game that series. I don't think he had a bad game that series.
He normally has just one random bad game.
But
you know,
it was. I think it was more so that series. It was just more so like, all right, this other guy is just like he's really just ODing. He's guarding LeBron. He's guarding LeBron. And you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, it's the LeBron and KD. So they forgot about Steph. He averaged 29, 8, and 8. They forgot about Steph. He shouldn't have got MVP. Don't get me wrong. But it's just like, come on, he hooped. You know what I'm saying? And I think the issue that's like the compounding issues with Steph. On top of the fact that like. You got the unanimous MVP. Yeah. And you're playing against LeBron and Kyrie, and you got outplayed by this guy that a lot of people before that hadn't even really been putting in that top 5 PG conversation.
Oh, now you're conflicting with my Cavs fan.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? Because people were saying Kyrie, all he could do is score. What was Kyrie before LeBron got there? He wasn't nothing. Like, well, he was 20 years old. Like, he had needed time to learn and grow. But, like, he got severe. And I'll be wanting to give the Steph injury excuse there.
Nah,
it's just like,
nah. Cavs fan had on. My man Kyrie cooked him.
Yo, you know, I'm like he didn't just cook him though. He clamped him. Like that's the first time you ever saw Kyrie Irving play defense. It was like LeBron said, like, yo, bro, this is it for you. If you clamp him and you cook him, they're gonna be talking about you like you the next big thing. And he did that. And then hit the game winning in his face. Like I'm not putting the game winning on Steph like that because that was good defense.
Yeah,
man.
It was great defense.
It's good defense.
That was good defense.
Just a better move.
Better move. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like those type of things can't happen. And then it's time for you to get your Finals MVP. And you score 4 through 42 minutes in Game 3 of the 2018 Finals.
Had the bad turnover in the final couple minutes.
Oh man, like
I don't know what he was doing with behind
like
back.
it's just that when you get to that tippy top, the small things matter. So you know before I was saying like oh, they're gonna look at the stats and see KD outplay LeBron. When you look at it from the position of like when you get to the top, we splitting hairs at this point. Steph is in that splitting hairs conversation. So now we start digging deeper and start analyzing why he's not as good as this guy over here. He didn't show up here. He gets abused defensively. At points, he got outplayed by this guy right here. He shouldn't have got outplayed by. But when you look at it, if you just look at it in a vacuum on paper, about to be his 4th ring.
4-1.
Let's just say he got 1 Finals MVP, 4 rings, 1 Finals MVP. One of like 4 players to go back-to-back MVPs in the regular season.
73 win team.
73 win team where you were the clear-cut best player. And if there was another guy on that team in your spot, they're not winning that many games. Draymond doesn't look that good. And I'm a huge Draymond fan. Draymond doesn't look that good. Clay doesn't look that good. So these are the things right here that you got to look at when you bring up that Steph into the GOAT conversation. Because there's other guys, the thing you go with LeBron, 3 and 6 in the finals. I mean, he got there.
He got there, yeah.
He got there.
Hey, I'm just happy that you even did the splitting hairs with him. I feel good. I was like, hey,
Bron is in that. I don't care how much you hate LeBron.
Oh yeah,
he's in that GOAT conversation. I'm not giving him that. And I saw this video. I know we about to cut out, but saw this video about the GOAT pyramid. And I thought that was really good because it puts guys in the different tiers, and it's just like, okay, you don't got to say this guy is better than these 5 guys because once you get to like the numbering, it's like, oh, he's not better than him. Like when you get to look at it in the tiers, they do the tiers right, and LeBron got to be up there in the conversation. And they did like the one I read was 2 top tiers. Jordan was the top tier by himself. The second tier was Kareem, Kobe, LeBron, Magic. Now, me personally, I might put Bird and Shaq in there. But what he was saying was these 5 guys right here are the guys that you can make a legitimate argument as the greatest of all times. For me, the great GOAT conversation, you got to do it in eras though, because it's just too many changes, competition changes. It got to be eras.
So different.
Who's the best of the era?
Game's so different.
So different.
I respect that. And before we sign off, I definitely want to touch on free agency and the draft. I mean, especially free agency, because again, it's about to start up in about a month. Again, things are always heating up between the likes of Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, and those guys. And first things first, I definitely want to talk about Kyrie. Again, just really thinking about it, again, being a longtime Cavs fan, and I had the chance to really watch Kyrie on a nightly basis, see him grow up. Like, he entered my fandom at a time where it was low. It was like Bron left, had to go through that season. He comes in, he provides that entertainment,
legitimate Cavs fan.
That potential. Hey, I went through many nights.
One of the few.
I went through many nights thinking Christian Ienga. Samari Samuels.
I don't even know that name.
Yeah, man.
Luke Caragodi.
You got me.
Luke Harringody.
You remember him from Notre Dame? Luke Caragodi.
Wow.
Goddamn,
Niggas in the
Anthony
league.
Parker stayed on. I was like, okay, this is leadership.
Candace brother.
Mo Williams,
That's his
the original number 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when I've been really just seeing Kyrie's free agency process and seeing what people think, honestly, I'm rolling with right now that I think for one, Kyrie wants to run it back in regards to he wants to be a leader. So I'm going to say that to say I don't think Kyrie will want to play with Kevin Durant or LeBron James. Because I think there's a reason why he wanted to leave Cleveland. And I think Kyrie really wanted to have that situation where he's like, look, I'm the leader. I can lead. I can do it my way. Like, look, guys, like, look at what I learned. So I don't think he'll have that if he goes with KD to the Knicks.
That's a good point.
And I don't think LA for a while. I would understand if he went to LA to play with LeBron, but I don't think it's attractive because it will be looked at as like, oh, look what happened.
Yeah,
it will be like, oh, you left home and
Little brother coming back.
yeah, look, you left home, got your ass bust by the real world. Now look at you. Now you got to go. So that's why I feel as if with Kyrie wanting to lead, with Kyrie wanting to have that ability to do so, especially with what everybody, including us, has been saying about him this postseason, I think he's going to Brooklyn.
Ooh,
That's a good.
I think he's going to Brooklyn.
That's a good one.
I think Brooklyn gives him that situation to where he comes in and he could try to once again be the leader that helps shift the culture. He gets to play with his boy D'Angelo Russell, another dog in the backcourt, another go-getter, somebody that can play off the ball,
Somebody that
has good
excelled off the
size.
ball.
But why leave though? Why leave the Celtics then? If that's
I think
you got
leaves-
everything there, right?
I don't think so. I think it's from the standpoint of I think the culture, because he contributed to it, but I think at this point the culture in Boston is toxic.
It is.
It's a lot of
I
false
agree with
promises in Boston.
I agree with that.
Boston for the last 4 or 5 years was supposed to do the big trade. They never did it.
Yeah.
You got some bad contracts there.
Okay.
You know Brad Stevens. I think he's overrated as a coach. I think he's a good coach, but
Wow.
homie can't execute when it matters most in the postseason.
Okay.
Damn.
I'm seeing that.
Harsh.
The rotations ain't really hitting the way it's supposed to in the postseason. And you just look at the roster. It's kind of like, who does Kyrie really supposed to fit in with and play well with? You got the young boys in Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Rozier. They're being very rebelliant because they're like, hold on, fan. Last year we did this without you. Like their heads were gassed up.
Yeah.
And that happened this year where they was kind of like, yo, Kyrie, hold on, pimp. Like, you're not going to try to do all this silent talk down on us like you the big homie type thing. They wasn't with it.
Of course.
And I just feel like
That's
he
bad.
wants to run it back as a leader. He wants to prove himself again. And, the Nets with the being in New York, New Jersey, that connection.
That's important.
I think he really wants to do that. I think he really wants to do that. So for me right now, on May 28th, I think Kyrie's going to Brooklyn.
I respect that.
I think Kyrie's going to Brooklyn.
That's a
me.
damn good argument.
That's a very good argument.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a couple things. All right, you're right. I think he definitely still wants to be a leader. I think that's the biggest thing that people don't realize. I hear a lot of, he's going back to LA. He's going back to LA. There's no way in hell he's going back to LA, man. There's no way.
He's too prideful, bro.
Exactly. He wanted to escape LeBron's
He
shadow.
came from the Kobe school. What
What about championships though?
I mean,
I think he's too prideful.
Yeah, I
bro.
think he's too prideful, man.
I think he's at that point
yeah.
where he's too
Yeah.
damn prideful.
Yeah.
Like he got to get it on his own. Like I think that's his big. Before I pass to Isaiah, I think that's like the thing that's killing him right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because remember, his first season in Boston, things were lovely. Then what happened? He got injured. You see the team perform without you like that, then you come back and it's kind of like, yo, bro,
Yeah.
you kind of effed it up.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. He definitely wants to be a leader, and he definitely wants to win a championship without him. The thing that I think that we're not weighing heavily enough is his friendship with KD. They both talked a lot about how much they hate the media, how much, even by me saying this, I'm blowing up the relationship out of proportion. But I think that they're really good friends. And I think even if Kyrie goes to New York, which I think he's going to the Knicks, I think both Kyrie and KD are going to the Knicks.
That's what I think as well.
Because even with KD, because they're such good friends, in private, behind closed doors, it's not going to be like, I'm better than you. I think behind closed doors, LeBron was always like, yo, I'm better than you. Like, you already...
Little bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
little bro.
big bro.
And I think you know, when he talked to the media about, so I called LeBron, had to tell him, like, you know, that I'm sorry for how, you know, insolent I was. Like, it's so hard to be that guy. I think him saying that was not an admission of guilt, like, hey, I want to come back. I really want to play with you again. It was just, hey, I realized something. I'm going to be a man about it. I'm going to call the person that taught me this.
I 100% agree.
And so the reason why he's going to go to the Knicks is because, like I said, he wants to be, it's going to be, in his head, it's going to be 1A KD, 1B me. And behind closed doors, it's going to be 1A, 1B.
Co-pilots.
Yes, they're going to be co-pilots. And the media can say what they want about it. As long as we have the same understanding, it's fine. It's fine. And I think, and it's going to be, I can't wait for this offseason because of, it's going to be amazing. Sure. We're going to see, wow, I can't wait. And I would like that. I would definitely like him to go to Brooklyn because I've been saying, since I'm an Ohio State fan too, so since day one, I've been saying, since, you know, the Lakers drafted Lonzo, I'm like, yo, there's no reason for you to trade D'Angelo Russell. He excelled at the 2 in college.
Yes.
He excelled at the 2 in college.
Playmaker.
Exactly.
Playmaker that can score the rock.
Exactly.
Scoring playmaker.
Exactly. So there's no reason for you to, you know, trade him. But I mean, they did it, whatever. And that's why I like Kyrie going to Brooklyn, because he would be that playmaker at the 2 again, which I think he can excel at. I don't know. I'm happy. I'd be happy, but I just think it's more likely for him to go to the Knicks.
Yeah.
Jamal, you on the same boat as well? Kyrie, KD?
I think I'm 100% thinking that. I know I got a plug in the NBA who's never steered me wrong, who told me inside stuff that I was like, nah. And then months later it came out and I was just like, what? Like, for instance, the J.R. Smith soup story. I heard that like months before it came out. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not serious with this right now. When I was told this, I was like, this is a joke. Yeah. And then it came out and I was like, this is a joke. So, like, and from what that person told me, like, that KD Kyrie thing is a done deal, and that's part of the reason they were so cool with just, like, giving up KP. Because I was pretty upset about that at first, and I was just like, yo, why don't we try to get both of them and try to keep KP?
Of course.
Because that would be nice.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you, I was more on the boat, like, y'all can keep Kyrie. I'm cool with Kyrie. I'd rather have the KD KP tandem. Because that's 2 unicorns. That's going to be tough right there. We can get a guard. Guards come a dime a dozen. But 7-footers with parking lot range do not.
7 foot and 7'3".
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I do think that it's going to be Kyrie and KD together. I'm praying that the media hasn't, like, destroyed that. I know KD's the type of guy that's, oh, that's what I was doing this? Well, I was planning it, but now that you guys said it, I'm not gonna do it now. I'm hoping that's not the case, because KD is that type of guy, but I'm really hoping it's not the case, because I've been since my homie told me that they were both coming to New York. My first thought is like, okay, man, like LA is the move to make, but nobody's trying to go to the Lakers because LeBron is there, and I'm like, Clippers is not even an option. They just traded away their whole team. They're not gonna be good, and I'm just like, wait a minute, hold up. They just traded away Tobias, ended up getting even better.
Yeah.
They keeping all those same guys. They got space for one superstar, and they got enough space to make. They got to make like a move to split up like 9 or 10 mil, and they could bring 2 in. Yeah, like you could bring Kyrie and KD to that team. Yeah, it's a lot better than bringing them to the New York Knicks. If you're talking about winning, and then you in LA, leave practice, go to the studio. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This is. What are you guys thinking? This is a done deal. Yeah. As a New York fan, hey, the Knicks is a lot better option, guys. A lot better option. But if I'm looking at it from a KD perspective, like off the court and on the court, Kyrie, let's link up. Yeah. Like, I'm talking to Jerry West. You got Jerry West there now. It's not a mistake. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely not.
Sure, they're saying, oh, you know, we want to get Kawhi too, but I think KD's their number one. Like, let's go get KD and see what we can get from there. Because if KD could bring in Kyrie, if KD could bring in Jimmy, if KD could bring in Kawhi, maybe. I don't think that's the case. I think Kawhi wants to play by himself.
I think Kawhi's going to stay.
But if Kawhi stays, if I'm KD, my first thought is like, okay, well, I'm not bringing Kawhi with me. He don't want to play with me. I'm trying to go me and Kyrie or me and Kemba to LA. Yeah. That's a chip right there. Yeah. Like you in my opinion, you get KD and you get Kyrie or Kemba. KD's out of Golden State. So who's in your way?
That's good. That's a good point.
Good point.
That's a very good point.
And that's LA. You got the movies, you got the commercials.
He's been in his business bag too.
He's been heavily in the business bag. And I know New York is great, but it's like, bro, we got winners over here, man. Like I mean, he maybe he a little different. I'm done with this winning shit.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
completely done with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so KD, man, make that move to the Clippers, but don't come to New York.
Don't go to New York.
what I'm saying?
Speaking of Kawhi, all right, I know two of us here, Isaiah and I, we're in agreement that I feel like he's staying in Toronto.
Yeah,
I've said since last summer, I always thought this was going to be PG in Oklahoma City Part 2. I always thought it made sense. What are you thinking?
It's a couple things. One, Kawhi is seems like a very like straightforward guy. Like, I want to be in warm weather. I think he's like one of those simple guys like that. Like, I want to be in warm weather.
Okay.
This is where I grew up.
Yeah.
Toronto ain't warm.
Yeah.
Beautiful city.
Yeah.
Amazing place. Parties. It's great out there. But it ain't warm. And it's also not LA with regards to like endorsements. And I think he wants to be in LA or New York with regards to endorsements. I think I don't know if people it didn't really get a lot of attention, but Jordan Brand basically told him he didn't just leave Jordan Brand and go to New Balance. He basically told him like, "Yo, you're not like a superstar.
Yep.
Like your
I remember
image
reading
is
that.
not like big.
Yeah,
so
smart.
you might be better than 99% of the league, but like there's guys that are smaller than you that are like way more marketable.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're not giving you this big Jordan bag because you really haven't earned it
Yeah.
off the court. You got it all on the court, but off
Yeah.
the court you haven't earned that. So for him, it's like a New York or LA type of thing, from what I'm understanding. On top of the fact that if he goes to the Clippers, they already have a team that just needs one guy. They showed us this year, like, yo, you bring
Yeah.
everybody back, which they can,
Yeah.
and then sign Kawhi, which they can. You still got another like 20 M's to sign another good player.
Yeah.
What if Jimmy's just like, yo, you know what? Throw me 20, 22 M's.
Yeah.
Now you got Kawhi and Jimmy's been saying he wants to go to LA. Jimmy does not want to be on LeBron's team. Everybody knows what comes with that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go play with Kawhi in LA
Yeah.
and Jerry West
That's a good team.
and Lou
right there.
Will and Crazy Pat Bev.
That's a good
Sign
team.
me up. That's a chip.
That
You
is
know
a
what I'm
chip.
saying?
Yeah.
So I think, in my opinion, everything falls once KD chooses. Because if KD chooses to go to the Clippers, Kawhi's not going to LA.
Yeah.
Then Kawhi might come to New York.
Yeah.
So I think it's all about KD. Because if Jerry West can't get KD, he's immediately, like, as soon as he gets up that call, like, it's
Yeah.
auto dial to Kawhi.
Mhm.
So he's
The
going
phone
to get
is
one
not
of those
going
two.
down.
Yeah.
He's going to get one of those two. And the thing about Jerry West, even if he doesn't, he's cooling. He'll wait 2 years until
Yeah.
the next big wave of stars coming out
I
together.
think that's Giannis,
Yeah.
2020,
See,
2021.
That's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
20, that's
Pretty
crazy.
decent.
So one
player.
of the things that
Yikes.
I'd like to get your opinion on is this is something I heard Jalen Rose say. The reason why he thinks Kawhi is going to stay is because star players hate being on. They don't want to play on 3 teams in 3 years. Like that is some veteran journeyman type stuff. You know.
Stability is underrated.
Exactly.
Okay,
When you are that, top tier star, you want to stay in one place. I didn't bust my ass this long for me to, be traveling to Toronto, having to uproot my family, all that jazz. That's the same reason why Paul George stayed. I think is the biggest driving force for Kawhi. Of course, don't get me wrong. You want to be in New York, you want to be in LA to sell shoes. I mean, it's already proven you're in one of those two places. You're going to sell shoes, you're going to sell merch. But one of the things that I've liked about the New Balance marketing deal, and I'll never own a pair of Kawhi New Balances. However, I think that they're doing an amazing job marketing his silence. I think that's very
that was a
unique.
great commercial.
Exactly.
The commercial I saw was really, really good.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
think they're doing a great job doing that. I think
hilarious.
we're underestimating the value of having a whole country behind you.
Yep.
A whole country behind you. I mean, you may not sell shoes like you would in LA or New York, but if you're selling a whole country your shoes, I think that's pretty good. Not to mention like the scraps you'll get here.
Yeah,
especially if you go to the NBA Finals consistently. Now you start that LeBron run for
sure.
That's one of the main
Legacy,
reasons.
too.
Yeah,
Like,
But
at the end of the
Toronto,
day,
though?
players love having a legacy.
exactly.
But who was his help though? Like these guys are just gonna get
That's
older.
true.
I think Siakam is a great like
Yes.
second
OG
guy.
Yeah.
had a good year
OG,
last year,
yeah.
but and
Was he like injured the whole year?
Yeah,
What
he was
happened?
injured.
I
yeah.
think he's injured.
Okay.
yeah.
I think for
I think he felt it.
Toronto, because their GM is just incredible.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
He's Toronto, and the reason why, like I said, I'm really, really liking Toronto, and the reason why they're like a throwback to the NBA I really liked 10, 15 years ago is because I think there could be that team that can find a way, and I don't think they will be against getting another star,
Yeah.
but they're the type of team that could really be like, look, as long as we got a star, we can retool.
yeah.
We can do all of this. And again, if we're in the East to where at the end of the day, it's really just been about constant changes and we're still the same and we upgraded that head coach, by the way, I think that's really big. And again, what you said too, like, because I was funny enough, the other night I rewatched The Carter Effect on Netflix, and that really resonated with me because again, like, to have that kind of legacy is big. To be like, look, fam, like, I really put a whole country on the basketball. A country. And in the United States, it's just about a city. If you're lucky, you get a region. I got a whole country behind me, and I got them in the playing ball. You know, I mean, Canada's going to have a top 3 pick in RJ Barrett. They had number 1 picks. They had all these guys. Their national program's getting so much better.
Definitely. So
I think if you're Kawhi, it's just, again, like, stability. You got to find a place to call home. We talked about it before the show. Because of LeBron, man, 13 years ago, there's options with contracts. This is not like 20 years ago when we used to see dudes sign for 8 years. You know, for 7 to 10 years. You can be like, look, Toronto, I love you. Let's do 3 years. I opt out after 2. Let's do 4 years. I opt out after 3. Like, you know, that's a great point, Isaiah, because I think you really want to stay. And besides, man, the freak you won't leave for, man, you can get all the unreleased Drake songs, baby.
Oh, this guy. Almost forgot.
I know I'm staying. What? I can get the unreleased?
He definitely could, too.
All right, we're about to sign off, guys. Thank you guys once again for joining me. Reed, shout out to you for filming and always setting this thing up. Fellas, give out the socials. That is important. I am at St. Claude II on Instagram and Twitter. That's at STCLAUDEII.
Yes, sir. And I'm at J Gilly the Kid at all social media, especially on Twitter. That's JAYGILLY the Kid. And of course, it's your host Arden here signing off. Follow me on Instagram at CallMeFlack, FLAK, or follow me on Twitter at Arden Sports Talk. Once again, man, this is the AST NBA playoff special. Free the boys up top, free the boys down low, just like I say on Four Side. I'll talk to you next time.